Sorry about that. This should have been done in January, but Auburn didn't get it to us until a couple weeks ago because it had to go through their city council, and actually their public works individual forgot about it. We've been using Auburn for our stormwater, our Vector truck decant for a couple years. So this is basically just a renewal of that agreement. We don't have a legal facility for decant for our Vector truck, and to build one, we're looking at $500,000 to $1 million. So that's why we do it this way.
Council discussion. Council pleasure. All right. Next. I'm sorry. I'm going to ask a question. Is there any cost difference between this and the last year's contract?
No, it's exactly the same contract.
Thank you. Okay, equipment trailer purchase.
I had talked to Public Works Committee and Finance Committee about this. There's several reasons why we need a trailer like this. We have some equipment that when it needs repair, we have to call somebody to pick it up, take it to get it repaired, and then pay them to bring it back. So it's costing us about $200 just to pick it up and take it back. Also, for hauling pipe and eco blocks and different things like that, the trailer we have, we can haul one eco block at a time. This trailer would be able to accommodate 4. And the trailer we have will not accommodate 20-foot lengths of pipe. And also, if you move on down the agenda and the mini excavator is approved, then we would need this trailer also for hauling that. I've gotten 2 verbal quotes and the quote you have in front of you, and the quote you have in front of you is about $2,500 cheaper than any of the other quotes I've received for the same kind of trailer. Yeah.
Do you have I'm sorry, do you have a vehicle that can haul?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we have any one of the utility trucks or the 2 dump trucks can tow this without a problem. When something as large as like the excavator's on it, it's going to be one of the dump trucks. Yeah.
So is this what's the hitch system that we're looking at? Is it a gooseneck or a pencil? Or
it's either going to be a pin or a ball.
Was this something that was presented as a capital improvement in the original budget?
It's in the budget. It's not actually in the equipment replacement fund, yes, but yes, it was.
Just one question. I noticed you've got the quote for 8.8% tax. So I'm assuming you're picking it up from them. Any chance of getting it delivered so the sales tax stays here in Pacific?
I can do that. That saves us time.
Yeah. Less it costs them more, it costs more to have it delivered than we get out of it. Yeah. Any other council questions? Council pleasure? Okay. Next on the agenda, Gordon Pacific Developer Agreement.
We've had the public hearing on this, and this has to do with our right-of-way acquisition from Gordon Trucking concerning the Stewart Road improvements. This agreement has been reviewed by our attorney. It's gone back and forth from their attorney to our attorney several times. It's also been reviewed by myself and Jim Morgan, and I'll be taking it to Public Works Committee this week for them to also give me any comments that they have on it.
Council questions?
Is this that last piece we need to get?
This is the last piece we need.
Within a year. And just since you mentioned all the other attorneys that have looked at it, been looked at to make sure we're complying with federal requirements for right-of-way acquisition?
Actually, we don't technically.
It
doesn't need federal requirements because we don't have any federal funds. But yes, it does comply.
How convenient. Yeah, nice to launch. Council pleasure. All right. Olympic Environmental Resources Agreement.
This is one we do every year. We normally get a grant, for, I can't remember what the grant is even. Anyway, we contracted with this, company every single year they do it for Earth Day and for, I think, our fall cleanup, but they do a recycle program.
Is this one that's held at the school?
Yes.
Set up in the outside parking lot, take your oil and.
Yeah.
Campaigns and stuff like that.
What month is that gonna be?
I don't know when it is. This is one of these is in with Earth Day or something like that, but it's normally around May or something like that.
Tentatively expected in September, October.
Yeah.
So Earth Day, April 26th?
Yeah, they do
So
something.
we'll have one then and then
Yeah,
in September?
exactly.
Yeah.
Like a spring and a fall?
Yeah, there's always a spring and a fall.
Typically, we receive the grant, and that's not the full contract with it, is there, you know, we've applied for it, we'll contract.
We've already got the grant.
We've got it.
Yeah, we've already accepted it. Normally this is done in January, but it's not a rush to do it, so we just wait until we have less stuff on the agenda.
Council pleasure?
Move forward.
All right. Purchase of mini excavator.
This one, was brought to Public Works Committee and Finance Committee. We're probably about the only city left in, not that that's a reason, but we're probably about the only city left in the state of Washington that doesn't have a mini excavator for doing ditching. It's much more efficient, also among a few other things that we can do with it. Backhoes are great, but they have their limitations. When you're out doing different things alongside the road and things like that, you can actually backfill better with a mini excavator and things like that. They also load better into a dump truck than a backhoe can. And so it's just we haven't had to rent, we don't normally rent one. It just takes longer with a backhoe than it does with this kind of piece of equipment.
Have that manual one.
Yeah, try and get the crew to use that.
They would know what it was.
There's no buttons on it to push.
No coffee, doesn't hold the coffee cup.
I have gotten a bid on this from All West on a Packer, which I know very little about. The bid for that was $78,000. I'm waiting for a quote from Brim on a JCB. This one from Washington Tractor is a state bid on the Yanmar. The reason why I was looking at the Yanmar is for several reasons. It's the only mini excavator out there with a 3-year warranty, and that's even for commercial. It's also the only one out there that has a hydraulic, can't think of the words now, has a hydraulic connection for the buckets, and it will also we can use our case buckets on it and our compactor that we can't use with any other machine we have out there. Yes.
In the opening letter, it says that you had to rent one several times.
We have had to rent one a few times. I shouldn't have said several. I should have said a few
So my
times.
question is, if there's a rental advice line in your quote summary, would they apply to rent?
No, because we've rented from different places, unfortunately.
Okay.
How many backhoes we got?
We have 3, and the thought is at this point, we wouldn't surplus any of them or trade them. We could. We have the one at the reservoir, which is probably our oldest, and so we could trade that one off. But my recommendation would be to keep what we have so that we can have one at the reservoir, we can have one here, and we can have one on site if we need it.
Do you see this taking man-hours?
Yes.
For the city
Yeah.
workers?
And we got any kind of idea what they would give us for those on a trade? I don't know why we need 4 backhoes.
He mentioned probably $5,000 on a trade.
Get more than that for scrap.
Yeah.
Couldn't buy it for that.
Yeah.
Park it with his
Well, I didn't ask for it. But yeah, he said $5,000 for a trade. The one machine that we would surplus is obviously the one that has the most hours and the most wore out, so.
What's the year of those machines?
I'd have to look it up. I think it's I'd have to look it up. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Like a Case 580?
It's a 580, yes.
80s era?
It's a late 80s, early 90s. He would probably know better than I would.
You said that's the one that's wore out the most?
Yes,
About 85, I think.
yeah,
And this could fit on the trailer.
yes. When we were speccing out the trailer, it was specific to fit this machine.
Will this have any additional training requirements for the operators that are used to doing backhoe? Do our guys already know how to run one of these, you think?
The one nice thing about this machine, preferably, yeah, and in fact, they used one today to try it out. But the one nice thing also about these machines is you can change the controls from backhoe controls to excavator controls just by a flip of the switch. So it's, if you're used to running a backhoe and you want to run it that way, you can flip it, switch it that way. Personally, I prefer excavator controls.
But will they need any more training?
They won't need any more training,
Okay.
except
The
for probably,
excavator's easier to use than the backhoe. I own one of each. The excavator's way easier to use than a small unit. You will save a ton of man hours doing ditch work.
the only difference in the quote is we quoted for a 60-inch bucket, and after using it today, we decided that a 48-inch bucket would be better, so there will be a little bit of savings. We're probably only talking about a couple $100 though.
And that just gives you more control on smaller digs?
The 60-inch would be great if we were just ditching and pulling it up on the side, but when loading it into a truck, it's just better control into the truck, is all. You have a lot of spillage with a 60-inch.
Yeah, it's only like close, 60 inches, too wide.
Yeah.
That's a wide ditch. Do we have a smaller bucket for doing small, narrower trenches?
Yeah, this is gonna come with an 18, we have a 12 for one of the case, that we'll be able to, like I said, this one we can use the case buckets. We'll have a 12, an 18, 36, and a 48. And then, like I said, a compactor that we haven't been able to use for quite a while.
Any further council discussion?
It is budgeted, isn't it?
It is budgeted, yes.
Council's pleasure?
Move forward.
Street assessment reimbursement.
This also has to do with Stewart Road, it has to do with the light at Thornton. We already ran through a ordinance or resolution for a latecomers agreement, and this has to do with that agreement, so that once the light's done, that anybody that does any development later, we can ask for reimbursement towards up to 15 years towards that cost.
Intersection? Or just the light?
Just the light, just the light.
Council questions? Pleasure?